Despite all the sort of theater of the Alligator Alcatraz of it all, Trump's comments today were really stunning, honestly. American citizens, he's talking about people who were born here and threatening to, put them in a deportation facility, deport them, take away their citizenship. What are we talking about here?
I mean, he even talked, I think, when he was with the El Salvadorian president about needing more prisons there for things like this. I mean, it's beyond, if you were to make a list of outrageous things Donald Trump was going to do, I don't think this would even have made it on the list. It is so just crazy. But the thing is that crazy things that Donald Trump says come to fruition. He will just do whatever he thinks. And now that this is in his mind, it's truly frightening that he might actually move forward and try to make a penalty for a crime being deportation for people who were born in this country.
Well, it's not being deported and dropped off. I think what he has raised is the idea that we'll house some prisoners in a prison in another country. And I have no idea whether this is legal or constitutional.
It's not legal or constitutional.
And I'm sure that'll be debated out, and if it's not, then it won't happen. But what he is saying is, if you have extremely violent populations that need to be housed in a prison somewhere, what's the difference between housing them in a prison here or there, other than the debate, I guess, over the legality of it? But that's what he has been raising.
Other than a pesky little thing called the law.
Right. And
I mean,
citizens.
I don't think
under what authority would a president of the United States be able to deport American citizens to the jurisdiction of a foreign country, even for committing crimes?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what the legality of it is. I don't know if the Department of Justice has issued a memo on it. Just for the purposes of this conversation tonight, what his point was, if you have extremely violent populations that need to be warehoused in a prison, he raised the idea of putting them in a prison.
We deal with extremely violent populations just fine.
I just think that I don't think you can avoid what Alligator Alcatraz is. I mean, I don't think you can just turn a blind eye to it. I think it's anti-American. I think the fact that you're going to have individuals and populations in there that are stacked on top of each other, many of whom without due process. And let me just also say this before it runs on clips throughout social media, is that I don't think there's going to be any Democrat in this country, including myself or you, Christine, who says that if you have committed a violent crime or any crime whatsoever, you shouldn't be deported. We're not saying that. You should be. However, the fact that Donald Trump this morning said you should learn how.
Okay, people, if you could just hit that subscribe button for me, I'd really appreciate it. Helps us out a lot. Okay, people, where was all this humanity and this caring when Biden left these borders wide open and all these innocent women that paid the ultimate price for this? Where was all the tears for that? You know, it doesn't matter what Trump does. It doesn't matter. Me personally, I think this is a very, very good deterrence to keep people from coming into our country illegal that have very, very disgusting backgrounds. Not just felonies, very, very disgusting people. They shouldn't even be on the planet, let alone Alligator Alcatraz. Like I said, I have grandkids, I have family members I care about, and so do people that watch these shows. And I don't believe that you want people running around our country that are unvetted. It's disgusting, people. But anyway, the video gets better. Let's get into it.
There are certain things about this country and the virtues of it. And the reason that Donald Trump and others are able to build Alligator Alcatraz is because of the simple fact that you don't give people the benefit of their humanity. I also think that, look, if we want to have a conversation about who belongs where, when, how, and whether or not their citizenship status, and we want to look at everything, I mean, I would look at Donald Trump Jr. I mean, I would look at all of Melania's kids, all of Ivanya's kids. I mean, let's just have a full conversation over who belongs here, how do they get here, their citizenship status. Let's just have a full discussion about all of it. Why is that not on the table right now? I mean, the only person here should be Tiffany Trump if we're going to have this discussion.
Anyway, people, did I welcome you to the channel? I don't think I did. That was rude. Thank you for tuning into the rant, people. Still
need to respond to what Bakari said about the humanity of it all. The idea that because you're an undocumented immigrant, we don't know who they're going to put there. You know, we already know that a lot of the people that they're detaining don't have criminal records. Where is the humanity, and what place does it have in this conversation?
We'll have to see how many people actually end up there. I think part of this facility is to try and incentivize those who are here illegally to self-deport, to say, hey, you don't want to be here. You don't want to go to Alligator Alcatraz, so you should probably just leave the United States of your own accord. The DOJ memo is very interesting, going back to talking about legalities.
About denaturalizing
we can
citizens.
denaturalize citizens. That is a law on the books. So the DOJ is looking to prioritize the enforcement of America's existing laws. There was an instance just earlier this year where somebody had their citizenship revoked, I can't even say the word. It happened because they were convicted of distributing child abuse materials.
Yeah,
it's something that can happen.
It is something that can happen, but it's something that is relatively rare and is usually reserved for things like what you're describing there. But one of the things that's interesting about that memo is that it says,
Okay, people, you see what we're talking about? Moral issues. Like they give two craps about moral issues. Okay, like we discussed, all these women that have been brutally hurt by these illegals, unvetted. What was so moral about that? They are trying to get the message through. Either leave this country or you're going to be detained, okay? There was a little tour of Alligator Alcatraz. It's air conditioned. It's a lot better than these prisons that we have here in the United States. It's everything that Trump does that they're against. People, you need to comment below and tell me what you think about Alligator Alcatraz, because CNN, and CNN's getting sued again. That'll be on my next video. The Trump administration is suing CNN. But anyway, they are so for illegals. They don't care about the people that were hurt. People, these senators that have gone to El Salvador, they didn't go to any of these people's funerals. Why? Why would they? They have no. They're the ones that have no morals. They have no moral compass whatsoever. They sit there and keep defending these illegals while people get hurt. American people get hurt. We can't have this in this country. Let's get into the video a little bit more.
it says, in addition to heinous crimes, right? I'm not sure there's a lot of dispute about the code and what it says about crimes being a case for denaturalization. But it also says cases referred by a U.S. Attorney's Office in connection with pending criminal charges if those charges do not fit within one of the other priorities. So that's basically any crime. Maybe you're caught with marijuana. Maybe you're caught with marijuana. That's any crime. The number 10. Any other cases referred to the civil division that the division determines to be sufficiently important to pursue. So I think when people look at this, they look at this as a carte blanche.
Yeah, it's totally subjective.
To just say, Zohran Mamdani, you're a naturalized citizen. You're a high priority for us. We'll take it away.
Right.
What are the guardrails here?
And you just said it's a little loosey-goosey. This is not a good thing to be loosey-goosey with. Denaturalizing people, sending them to jails in El Salvador. I mean, you cannot, by definition, if there was one thing you wanted to have tightened up, it would be this. And you say the courts, so are people then going to be waiting in El Salvador on their knees, bent over, while we're waiting for the courts to decide whether that American citizen should have been taken out of this country?
I don't know, but I do know this.
That's not okay.
That you jump to the worst possible conclusion with nearly everything that Donald Trump says or does, including enforcing the laws of this country.
He said to the El Salvadorian president, we need more prisons there.
Well, people, there you have it. They're going to come up with every scenario that they can come up with. So now, if you smoke marijuana, they're going to pull your citizenship and put you in a concentration camp or whatever they want to say. China News Network, I'm sorry. People, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment below and tell me what you think. And please remember to subscribe, like, and share. It really helped me out a lot. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.